Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so I've been back off the Camino now for probably around about 5 months, and slowly putting up my vlogs on video, which you've all seen as yet. So I decided I'd do a pack what I took on my Camino. As it happens, next week, Shandell and I are off on to do another 4-day hike, which is done on the Bibbulmun Track, which is West Australia's foremost through hike. On the goes down from Kalamunda in Perth, or just on the outskirts of Perth, all the way down to Albany. And so I thought I'd do a comparison. So here in front of me is basically what I took on the Camino Francés. So without any further ado, let's get on to it. Okay, so clothes wise, puffy jacket, raincoat, which we well and truly needed all the way across the Meseta because it bucketed down with rain on us the whole time we were doing that. We have I got a lightweight, and this is extremely lightweight, that I bought on the Camino Portuguese a few years ago, and it's just a fleecy line, and it was great going over a t-shirt and onto in between my raincoat or my puffy jacket, dependent on the weather. Those three, I had a t-shirt, a shirt, button up with a collar, so when the sun did shine, I had a little bit of shade on my neck. I also had another shirt that I haven't brought out with me, which is a button-up shirt with long sleeves if it was extremely hot and I needed that extra coverage. And that t-shirt, which was great to have around the place. I took 2 sack liners, which they were really handy for keeping another barrier to keeping my clothes dry. The clothes did stay dry in there, but there was a little bit of water. One of the things I did need after day 2, well actually on the way down to Roncesvalles, was a knee bandage, knee support. I got that probably about 4 or 5 days later because it was hurting so badly, and I just could not find a chemist open, believe it or not, even in Pamplona. It was a celebration, a long weekend, and yeah, there was no way I could get anything. We travel with Turkish towels. We find them probably a little bit better than they're slightly heavier than the other cloth, the other towels that we used to use, but they're really good. You can hang them up inside your, if you're lucky enough to get the bottom bunk, you hang that up and it's all closed up and it's great. You've got all the privacy in the world from the rest of the pilgrims, so which is really good. Also in the morning when if you're having to use your light, your red light or anything like that, packing up, it just means that there's less light escaping from underneath. A long pair of strides. These are a new pair. They're not the ones that I wore on the Camino. They're ones that I bought post Camino when I was doing my hospitalero stint for a couple of weeks in albergue. So they're just new ones, so they haven't been worn out yet. The other ones are pretty well worn out that I'm wearing at the moment. 4 pairs of socks, 2 long pairs and 2 short pairs. I don't go for toe socks, they just don't do it for me, but I'm one of these lucky people that very rarely gets any blisters. It's just the way I am, I suppose. I always make sure that my shoes are bigger than what I need, about a size to a size and a half bigger than what I need, and I've got a wide foot, so with the wide foot I've got a wide foot box in my shoes. That's I don't know whether you can see them out the back there. I've got my Merrills up there that I wore. They're now a pot plant, along with the other 4 Caminos that we did are pot plants for Shendel and I for our hiking shoes that we've worn out. Underpants, you don't need to really see those. They're just normal everyday underpants. I took a pair of shorts with pockets so I could hike in them, or if I needed to, I could go for a swim in them, just to do something, you know, so, or if my washing was getting done, I'd have something else I could wear around the place. And they're lined as well, so I could wash my briefs, etc., etc. A buff, absolutely fantastic. You've probably seen me a few times in my Caminos. I was wearing them around my ears and over my face because it was just so cold and so wet that I really did need that extra layer to wrap around the back. Having short hair does make a difference. So, and that will go. All of this will go with me as well on my on my trek next week on the Bibbulmun Track as well. Pair of gloves. They're just a woolen pair of gloves that dry out fairly quickly and are really, really good. Beanie, which was fantastic. Needed that on numerous occasions, both at night time and during the daytime, along with a broad-brimmed hat which kept the sun off my ears, which folds up really tightly, and it doesn't weigh that much. It's just a normal bucket hat. And along with the peep cap that I bought in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port on my first day. So that's pretty much it for the clothing side of things. Getting back down to bedding, I've got a ultra dry down traveller seat summit quilt. It doesn't zip up, it just pulls up over the top of me. I'm not a person, I feel confined in a sleeping bag, so I find this useful with me. And that just lays across the top of me whilst I am wearing the Reactor Seat Summit, what do you call it, liner, bed liner. That keeps me quite warm on the Camino. It was great. Very few nights was I cold. Well, no nights was I cold, and no nights was I overheated at all or anything like that. So very, very comfortable. That's another lining. And as well, it's a barrier between you and the bed that everybody else has slept in, so bed bugs, etc., like that. I was very fortunate. I didn't get bed bugs either, so just lucky, I guess. Pack cover, Old Faithful here, that's been on numerous Caminos, numerous Bib track hikes with me, which is a 48 litre Exos backpack, and I absolutely love it. It's just perfect for what I need. So yeah, really, really good, really comfy. It just suits me, and that's the pack cover. It's just a random Kathmandu brand. One of the things I did also find very useful when I was hiking, more probably when I was traveling over to Spain, was the having the Apple AirTags. I knew where my pack was all the time. I put one in with my passport, and that's two things I haven't put in with as well with my packing list is my credentials and my passport. And that I'll put a photo up here of where I've got my credentials displayed now. These are, you know, I put one in my backpack and one in my bag. Shendel had one. So we knew where each other were if we needed to. When Shendel went ahead, I knew which hotel she was at or which albergue she was at. I'd just plug it into my phone and say, go to this address. And yeah, there I'd find Shendel or Shendel's backpack. So that was all really, really good. A couple of times we'd be watching the Shendel's backpacks when she sent it forward. We go, no, it hasn't been picked up. No, it hasn't been picked up. Oh, look at that. It's on the way. So the backpack would be making its way to our next destination, which was really quite cool to watch. Laundry type stuff. half a dozen pegs, which are always handy. Hanging things on the line because the breeze would blow. You just needed one on each item of clothing if you were drying them out on the line, or if you needed to, you could hang them off your pack using the pegs. These are just little stainless steel ones that we got, and they worked fine. You'll find in a lot of albergues they'll have a somewhere to wash your clothes, but 9 times out of 10 they will not have a plug. So we carry these little plugs with us, and they have saved us numerous times when we've been washing our clothes and rinsing our clothes out. So worthwhile carrying. I'll just say that my basic pack weight was about 7 kilos. I don't know what that works out to in ounces or pounds, should I say. Yeah, but it's around about just less than half of what the conversion is, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Don't know. Some date loaf, as we call it in Australia, or toilet paper. Carry some of that around because sometimes you will get caught short, and so you just dig a hole and bury it. I didn't have to use it on this trip. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I did that day that I had that tummy bug or food poisoning. And probably the most important thing when hiking the Camino, when you're sleeping or trying to sleep, is earplugs. Just some little, I got wax ones. Some people just use ordinary ones. I found those really good. They're really malleable and you can put them in your ears, and that's it. Bob's your uncle. Little bit of sunscreen and hand sanitizer. Absolute lifesavers. Strapped onto my backpack always on one of the hooks, I would have my a little towel. It's like a bit of a chamois, and wipe the sweat off, or you could dry yourself off, if whatever, you know. So, which was really, really handy. Carry hydrolytes with me all the time. Found them very, very good as well. They have a tendency to just stop with the cramps. I also had some magnesium tablets that I would take each night as well. Yeah, you're doing a lot of sweating, you're walking hard, you're walking long distances. 20 to 35 kilometres a day was, well, I think 20 was my least and 35 was my most kilometres a day. You're burning up your magnesium levels, your water levels. You've got to drink lots and lots of water. I didn't take this one, but I would have a couple of litres of water in just the old water bottles that you buy at the shop. I just reused them all the time. So that worked for me. A little bit of deodorant, so all the pilgrims didn't complain about me. Toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, and we got little bags that we put soap in, which is absolutely excellent. They just made it so that this soap was dry, and for the next day that you used it, which was really good. You can buy those online. Everybody's talked about them, so I won't tell you what they are. Nurofen, a couple more pegs, you know, sort of, yep, ibuprofen, stuff like that, that you can take with you, but you know, you can get it all whilst you're over there as well. It's, yeah, ibuprofen you can buy over the counter up there, and yeah, it's pretty simple. Had a headlamp because there was some mornings that I was up bright and early, and off we went. Apple earbuds, earpad, whatever you call them, so I could listen to my music, podcasts or stuff like that. And I had a little container for my electronics gear, my power pack, some chargers. When I was over there, when I got to France, I bought a European plug adapter, and that sort of made everything really, really good. So for charging everything, I would just charge it straight into my charger battery pack. That's the word I was looking for. And that's got a couple more outlets from there, and so I could charge up my Pocket Pro camera that I used and my mobile phone. And if I needed to, then I could put it onto my watch, or I could put it onto my AirPods or anything like that. So that all worked for me. And of course, I had my phone, my Apple iPhone, which, you know, I'd take photos with that. When the batteries ran out on my camera, I could use it for videoing, etc., etc. So you could use the vlog, which was really, really good. Okay, so, sorry, sticks. I always walk with sticks. I just find it so much easier and better for me. It carries a little bit of the weight. I did walk with Merrells, my Merrell shoes. They're very worn out now and have become a talking point in my backyard. And I've also got Hoka. I go between Hoka and Merrell. They're my go-to shoes. I don't wear Gore-Tex anymore. The simple reason is that these dry really, really quickly. Gore-Tex, they get wet. Once the wetness is inside them, then it takes a lot longer to dry out. So yeah, it's sort of apples, oranges. Each person to their own preference. I've always said what you need to do is make sure that your shoes are comfortable for you. It doesn't matter what anybody else says, as long as they're comfortable for you. That's what matters the most. Okay. I think I've got everything. So that weighs about 7 kilos. Now I'll go around, I'll carry this on the Bibbulmun Track, but then I'll be carrying a lot of what's on the other side as well. Not so much the food, because Shendell and I share the food. I carry the tents and the sleeping gear and pots and pans and whatnot, and some of the food, and then Shendell carries some of the food as well. So we even it out a little bit and work together. So I'll just pop to the other end of the table, and like one camera's going to follow me, but the Insta360 is not going to follow me. So g'day again. Right. So this, you probably see it with the Insta360, I'll change the cameras over, is what we will be taking extra when we do the Bib Track hike. We don't have albergues, we're not going through towns, so basically we've got to be self-sufficient. We'll be sleeping in huts, and they have what we call long drop toilets, which is a toilet seat, big hole underneath it, or a tank, and they're biodegradable tanks that we go to the toilets in. If we're out in the bush, in the middle of nowhere, we have a little spade, and once again, some date loaf that we'll carry with us as well. The huts don't have beds, so you are sleeping in your in your tent if there's not enough room in the huts, because if there's a few other campers already gone through, I think they usually take about 12 people in there. But if there's other campers, there's not enough room for us, then yeah, you sleep in your tent. So you got to be completely self-sufficient. If you go expecting to have the ability to be able to sleep in a hut every single time, I think you're fooling yourself a little bit. But you know, that's the way it is. So we got the tent. We use a big Agnes. It's a lightweight tent, and it's cozy with the two of us in there, but very, very good for when we're sleeping inside it. Sometimes we'll set that up actually in the hut if there's nobody else there, and we'll just have the fly netting over us. It keeps the mozzies away and everything like that. So it works really, really good. A pillow, because we don't get billows supplied when you're out in the bush, so self-sufficient again. Yeah, a very, very important bit of kit is a fly net for the West Australian flies, because I can, as you can see, I've been shooing them away. Maybe I should have put this on a little bit earlier. But they're really, really good, really handy to have, and it just saves a little bit of energy. A jet boil, that's an absolute game changer for us. We can get 4 or 5 days out of a tank of gas with cooking, doing cups of tea, etc., etc. So this is the gas bottle that comes with it, and of course we've got matches, pots and pans, our little doodly cutlery set, some tea tree oil for doing the dishes, which is environmentally friendly, and a little bit of scrubber for my hot cups of tea I've got to have, which I've got, and then I've got my sugar and tea bags in there. Usually I'll have white tea, but this time I'll just go and do it tough a little bit and have myself some black teas. I've got a new Patagonia overshirt. This is going to replace my Camino fleece that I had. It's so lightweight, it's ultra lightweight, it's keeps the sun off you more than anything, and provides a little bit of a windbreak from it. So that's really, really good, and I'm going to be wearing that more so. Heat blanket, just to, in case we get, just emergency blanket basically if we get too cold. This is our thermarest that we sleep on, which we find really, really comfortable, and get a good night's sleep out of that. So you inflate it by using the bag. You don't blow into it by your mouth, because what you do then is you're putting cold or wet, damp air into it, folding it up, and it all sticks together and breaks. So they got this U-Butte, which also doubles as a bag liner. You fill it up with air, you plug it into the end there, and then you just squeeze it in, and that makes the dry air come out of it, which is really, really good. Hello, Spencer. Do you think your dad's nuts for talking to himself? Yeah, so do I. Trail mix for on the way across, our breakfast cereals and a bit of fruit, dried up fruit. There's our breakfast mix, dried up fruit. Lunches, and this is for 4 days, basically trekking. Some ramen, veggie mix, dinners for the two of us. We've got dehydrated spag bog, jasmine rice and veggies, green chicken curry, because we do things tough when we're out on the Bib track. Some chucks for sponges for just cleaning ourselves, damp, just a bit of a dry wash, or doing the dishes, stuff like that. Some emergency scissors. I haven't decided whether I'm taking those yet, because there's a little, there's probably about 1 kilo in that, so it's a little bit weighty. Done the tea bags. Some snacks for us, just rice cakes, lightweight, seaweed. Ew, seaweed. No, it's proper seaweed. Wakame chili. That must go with something else that Shendel's put in there. I don't know. Yeah. And kunoi chai. They're just some wraps that we'll put the tuna around, and we've got some dehydrated tomatoes and stuff like that that works for us. And probably a really, really important thing, well, two of the most important things I'll leave to last, is we wear the gaiters, which not so much to keep the water out, but also snakes. Because on the bib track, it's out in the bush, there is quite a number of snakes, and you just got to make sure that you are looking after yourself and you don't get a snake bite. If you do get a snake bite, probably a very, very important thing to have, and we never hike without them, is a PLB. So many people go out without them, and I've had to go searching for people in the bush who've gone out, got lost, got bitten by a snake, something's happened to them, and they haven't got a PLB. This thing here is a lifesaver. We're very lucky we've never had to use it, but if you get the chance, get one. If you're going hiking, long distance hiking, it doesn't matter where you are, doing long distance hiking, get yourself a PLB, and yeah, make sure that you're safe, okay? Because you've got to look after yourself. And make sure it works. Test it regularly. I won't test it now. We've just done a test before we're hiking, so yeah, I won't bother about doing another one. But make sure that it works. Okay, my backpack, and also a pair of thongs, flip-flops, jandals, wherever you come from, different names for different places and that. Okay, my backpack, like I said, 48 litres, and it does an absolute perler of a job for me. It's Osprey, and 48 litres, excellent. Easy to access. I can get into my water bottles from the side here, super easy. It's got a liner for H2O. If you want to take your water in your pack, you can do that, or you can put it in the sides. It's mesh on the back, so it lets your back breathe. And little pockets here that I hang my face cloth off, and also where I put my mobile phone in here, in the little pouch. I think that probably sums it up for me. It's been great doing my vlog of the Camino. Stay tuned. I do intend to do some more walks and some more hikes. Keep it interesting. They'll be local for a little bit. If I haven't already put it up, I think I probably would have by now. I'm going to put up one of our 2 weeks as hosteleros in Albergue, which was brilliant. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. It was just so good to become part of a community, and also get to see so many and hear so many stories of fellow pilgrims who were still on their way. Bugger off fly. Okay, on that note, buen camino. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for letting me share my joy with you, and what I enjoy doing in Shandell and I. It's been good having you around. Okay, see you next time. Awesome.